Hey guys, so today, this is 7th period. We're going to be talking about summary statistics, okay? And to start us off, we're going to be talking about the data, some data that I collected last week. You guys took a survey, and I asked you guys about how many relationships have you been in the last 5 years. So, here are 8 possible answers that people gave me on the survey.
I never thought you put 100, miss. I wanted that private.
I can't even have one.
So, alright, yes, this is a weird data point. This data point that doesn't really fit is called an outlier. This is called an outlier.
More like a liar.
That's why.
More like a liar. Outlier, yes. And in statistics, whenever you have a list of data, and you want to summarize it with like one number or 2 numbers or some like really straightforward technique, that's called a summary statistics. Like if you guys are doing an essay, do you have like one final statement saying, hey, these are my main points. This is the point I was trying to make. Yes. If you have a good survey or a good, I'm nervous because I'm being recorded. A good essay should have that, alright? So, instead of just looking at the entire list, today we're going to be exploring summary statistics. And these provide useful information about the data. There's lots of different summary statistics. We're going to start with ones that you have probably already seen before. So, today we're going to be building a foldable.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Yay! So, take this foldable, take the sheet, hold it sideways like this, and then you're going to do a tri-fold, like fold in both sides.
Wait, how many? One more time, please. Oh.
Lengthwise, and then fold in both sides like this. So it'll look like a science fair board or something.
I never won the science fair.
Me neither.
I was so sad every time.
So you want to have flaps, guys, you want to have your flaps set open.
Very small, isn't it?
I don't know.
We need to move.
Okay. So on the left side, there's going to be 4 terms. So I'm going to draw 3 lines. And then on the right side, we only need space for 3 things. So don't ask me why. Resist the urge to ask me why. So there'll be 4 here and then 3.
Wait.
Alright, I gotta space them out evenly.
We do what you want there? Like, we just... Okay, I don't know what you're doing.
If I ask you to summarize this data with only one number, I bet some of you in the class will probably say we could take the mean. Have you guys, you've done that before, yes? So that's going to be our first word, the mean. We're going to put the words on the outside, and on the inside we'll do examples. And the symbol for this, maybe this is new to some of you, maybe it's not. The symbol we're going to use to represent the mean is X with a line over it. I'm going to say call that X bar. X bar. Okay. And then on the inside, I'm going to draw my line over for the mean and draw a line down here to separate.
Wait. Oh.
Okay, so now outside, inside. So you guys are, yeah. If I were on Instagram and I was trying to give a shout out to the meme, what's a possible hashtag I could use?
You can find me in the middle.
Center, that's a good one. This is a measure of the center of the data.
Hashtag center of attention. That's a good one.
Center of attention. What's another hashtag we could use? It's a hashtag. Center.
Hey, Jesse, you need glasses.
Average, that's the one I'm looking for. Thank you, Dharmic. So I know you guys are gonna like take a picture of this and post it on Instagram and hashtag.
Do you have an Instagram?
I do, but you can't have it.
Can I have it when I turn 18?
No.
Can
Why
I have it when
not?
I graduate?
Yes. Okay, guys.
You better like.
So the example of the mean for this data. Who can tell me how to do that? You guys learned this? Ms. O'Hearn said you learned this in the 6th grade.
6th grade.
I had problems.
Yeah, miss.
Yes.
How
Add
many
them all
columns
up.
can a 6th grader really have?
I had constant nosebleeds every day.
You're posting this. I need the side conversations to stop. Yes, you add them all up and divide by the number of numbers. So 100 plus 3 plus 3 plus 6 plus 6 plus 3 plus 7 plus 1 divided by 8 because there's 8 numbers. Oh, I need that. Yeah. So this gives you 16.125 for the mean. Okay. This is a review. We're not going to spend much time about like finding the mean of stuff. Mean. What's another measure of the center of a data set? 16.125. Yes, another one would be the median. The median, we're not going to have a symbol for the median, so let's go on the inside. This is another measure of center. This is another measure of center.
I didn't want to say anything.
This hashtag is going to be very important either next time or the time after that. Center. Another hashtag might be I'm looking for one. Middle.
The middle child.
That's what I was thinking.
What do you have to do to find the median of data? Joy. Put it in order. Hashtag order.
Hashtag cut me off.
What?
Because you have to cut off the numbers from the side.
Oh. Yeah, you have to cut off the numbers. Okay, so let's do... Guys, do you have a question? Okay. Just hold tight while we get through these definitions. So I'm going to put these numbers in order. 1, 3, 3, 3, 6, 6, 7, and 100. So I'm going to start crossing them off. 6 and 3. What do we do when there's two numbers?
Add them and divide them by 2.
Mm-hmm. So the median is 4.5.
Wait.
Make sure you put them in order.
6 and 3. 1. There's 3 3s. And 2 6s, and 1 7 and 100. So it should only be 6, miss.
Like you counted like 100, you counted the 1 and...
Okay, the next one. Mode. What's our hashtag going to be for mode? Most. What's our mode for this set of data? Which number occurs most frequently? 3. Trace.
What do you say? 3 in German.
I don't know.
9?
Okay, I don't want to move ahead, so, like, are we good? Raise your hand if you're ready to move on. Are you guys ready to move on? Raise your hand. Thank you. Okay. The last one, this is called the mid-range. The mid-range. So this one, this one is also a measure of center, sorry. This one is a measure of center. I'm going to give, this is hashtag not the range. Don't confuse mid-range with the range. It's like the midpoint.
You hear that?
Yeah, the feedback isn't great. Not the range. We're going to learn about the range in a few minutes.
Like for like.
So the formula is the min plus the max divided by 2. Min plus max divided by 2. So for this, yep, 100 plus 1 divided by 2. 50.5. Perfect. That's your mid-range. Okay. So we're going to look back to your notes. There's a question that says, are the mean and the median in that blank? The word that goes in this blank is resistant. Are they resistant to the outlier data? So take a look at the mean and the median. Our mean x bar was 16.125 and our median was 4.5. Which one of these was more greatly impacted by the outlier, the mean or the median?
The mean.
All right. What if I changed this number from 100 to 1,000? From 100 to 1,000. I want you to work at your table with your elbow partners. And I want you to find the new x bar and the new median. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys just like a minute to do that.
I'm pausing it.
What was the new median? Or new median?
How?
Days of vacation.
Wait.
What did you ask?
Me. No. Is this what it is, guys?
Yes.
Do we need to practice finding the mean more?
No.
Okay, then what's the median?
4.5.
The 4.5 is the same. So do you see what happened? What happened whenever we added the outlier? The mean changed. Did the median change?
No.
No. Okay, so whenever we have outliers in our data, it's going to greatly impact your mean. It's not going to greatly impact your median. So depending on the application, you may or may not want to use, you may want to use the mean instead of the median. It just depends. Okay? All right.
That one hurt.
let's move on. On the same survey that I gave y'all last week, I asked you to write down the number of colleges that you are thinking of applying to.
20.
Okay.
What major?
Well, here is a set of 8 data points. Here's a set of 8 data points. And I want you to just practice one more time finding the mean and median, and then we're going to move on to something else.
My phone needed more time.
Here's the answer. So the mean, 2.375. Raise your hand if you got that. So it looks like about half the class didn't get this mean. Either that or they're not listening. Raise your hand if you got that. Okay. Median. What'd you do, Kenny?
The medium, 3 plus 2, I thought it was 3 times 2.
Oh. Did anyone put the median equaled 1? On their first time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, don't forget to put your numbers in order. This is going to be really, really important. Don't forget that hashtag order. Okay? If you didn't put the numbers in order, you got that the median was 1. If you did, you get the median 2.5.
The hashtag should have been the New World Order.
All right. So these 4 guys are called measures of center, mean, median, mode, and mid-range. Those are different ways you can talk about the middle part of your data. There's another part of the data that's also really important. And to talk about that, let's compare these 2 lists. So look at this list right here compared to this list right here. Don't call out. I want you guys to think, and you're going to talk to people at your table. Which of one of these lists do you think is more reliable? Which one of these lists do you think is more reliable? So I'm going to give you guys a minute to talk to the people at your table. You think the second one's more reliable? Why? Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, Joe.
What do you see what happened was that the second one seems more reliable because the numbers seem more realistic.
They seem more what?
They seem more reasonable.
More reasonable. I love that. Jose, what do you think?
I think the second one's more reliable because it's actually like more reasonable on the results, and also you can basically just do the calculation much easier than.
Yeah, whenever you have numbers that, so basically, are there any outliers in this data set? No, they're all pretty much about the same. The mean and the median, whenever the mean and the median are close to each other, that means there's probably like not any outliers in the data. Whereas with this, they were very different. 16 compared to 4 are very different. There's an outlier that's skewing that mean. So it's less, this data would be less reliable. Okay? And the things that tell us about the reliability of data, their hashtag is going to be spread. So now we have center and spread. And for the rest of today, we're going to be talking about spread. Okay, so one of the first, that basically tells us like how far out are the data. Is the min really far away from the max? Or are they really close together? Are they closer together or are they spread out? Okay, so here's one that you guys have learned before. Range. The range. So this hashtag is going to be spread.
Hashtag spread the word.
And the formula for range, does anybody remember the formula? It's max minus min. Max minus min. Max minus min. Okay, so for this data, the range would be 100 minus 1, which is 99. That's one measure of spread. this guy, which is going to take up a lot of room, this is called the standard deviation. The standard deviation. And the symbol that we're going to use to represent standard deviation is called a sigma. So a sigma is a lowercase Greek letter. You basically do an O, and you do like a little loop up at the top.
Like a
So let's
baby.
practice that. I'll do it twice. Yeah. An O with a loop up at the top. And I'm going to call that sigma.
Like eyes, like only one eyelash.
It does kind of look like an eye with an eyelash. Okay. That's the symbol for standard deviation.
Eat it.
I don't.
Ooh, I got you.
So, some hashtags for standard deviation. Spread. Whenever I'm done with this video, I'll write you a note. Spread. And one word we used a couple minutes ago was reliable. How reliable is the data? Well, you can find the standard deviation, and that's an indicator of how reliable your data set is. I'm going to hashtag sigma.
How you gonna do that?
It's a circle with one eyelash.
It's like an eyeball with one eyelash. And what the standard deviation tells you is it's the distance, hashtag distance from are hashtags all lowercase?
Yeah.
Oh well. Distance from the mean. It's telling you how far on average is the data from the mean. So this one is associated with the mean. In a second, this one is going to be a measure of spread that's associated with the median.
The hashtag long distance relationship.
Hashtag long distance relationship, yeah. Okay. Distance from the mean. So, say for instance your data looked like this, and it had a mean like this, it would have a high standard deviation, because there's a lot of data that's very far away from the mean. If, for instance, you had data that was all clumped together, the mean would be somewhere in here, it would have a low standard deviation, because the distance from this point is low. Okay? This is a high standard deviation, this would be a low standard deviation. And alright. This is where class has gone downhill every single time. Downhill. So I'm going to do a change here. We're going to find the standard deviation of a very small set of data. Okay, so I'm going to do just a new set of data right here so we don't have to fool around with big numbers. Okay, there is an easier way to get this. I will tell you that way in a couple of minutes, but right now we're going to do it the hard way. Push yourself to do this formula, okay? All right. Thanks, Esther. So, the data, never done this before. So let's go ahead and shrink down some of that data from the college application one. So let's say we have a 3, a 3, a 3, a 1, and a 2. Sure, let's do that. This is our data. Your first step, you need to find your x bar, which is your mean. So 9, 10, 12 divided by 5. I don't know, 12 divided by 5. Huh? 2.4, thank you. Our mean is 2.4. And your n, which is the number of data points, is 5. Okay? Are you guys with me so far? Alright. So to find the standard deviation, we're going to start with creating a table. On the farthest left, we're going to have x. So I'm just going to write down these x values. The order doesn't matter. So 3, 3, 3, 1, 2. Make sure you have space beneath your table because we're going to add more underneath it.
Wait, what?
We're going to add some things underneath this last entry here. Okay? The next column is going to be x bar minus x. What does x bar stand for? Mean. So my mean is 2.4. This x is 3, so I'm going to do 2.4 minus 3 here, which gives you negative 0.6. This one is going to be 2.4 minus 3, negative 0.6, because it's the same x value. What's this one going to be? Negative 0.6. Are you guys with me? Tell me if I'm going too fast. I'll pause the video, let you guys get caught up. Alright, so I'm going to do this one right here. 2.4 minus 1 is 1.4. And 2.4 minus 2 is 0.4. Okay? So we're done with this column. The last column is going to be x bar minus x squared. So basically we take this number and we square it. So this is going to be negative 0.6 squared, which is 0.36. Same thing here, because it's the same number. This one's going to be 1.4 squared. Which is 1.96. And this one will be 0.4 squared, which is 0.16. Okay? How's that? You guys with me now? Okay. Are you ready for the standard deviation formula?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's the formula. Here is what's called a capital sigma. So just like in English, the Greek has capital and lowercase. The lowercase sigma we already talked about was this guy. The capital sigma is this guy. Does anyone know what this means? The sum. We're going to take the sum of all of these things, so the sum of x bar minus x squared, add up all of those numbers, and divide it by n, which is the number of numbers. Okay? So I'm going to sum in the numerator 0.36 plus 0.36 plus 0.36 plus 1.96 plus 0.16, and all of that is going to go over 5. I haven't done this example yet, so I'm going to have to do that, 0.36. So they've already been squared. So I believe this is 3.2 divided by 5, which is 0.64. And then, this works out really nicely. The last step, sigma, our actual standard deviation. Sigma equals to the square root of all of that stuff. Just drawing an arrow. So you take everything you just did, and we got a 0.64, so I'm going to do the square root of 0.64, which is 0.8. And that's your standard deviation. It's a lot. But there is a shortcut. And I'm going to wait until everyone is ready and has this before I tell you the shortcut, okay? So I need feedback from you guys, and I need to see that you're ready to move on before I move on. Alright, so we're going to go to the home button. I'm going to create a new list. Okay? So make sure your list is totally blank. And then in column A, we're going to go down and type in these numbers. The order that you type them in does not matter. If my order does not match yours, please do not, tell me. Just make sure that all the numbers in that list make its way into your list. So, 3, 3, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so I just typed in all the numbers there. Will you wake him up? Okay. Now, this is going to save your life. And the steps on how to get this are on the board, so just pay attention right now. Don't worry about having to memorize the steps, because they're going to be there for you. So, just highlight a cell in that list. It doesn't matter which cell. Just make sure your box is around one of the numbers in that list. And then type menu. And then type statistics. And then we're going to go to stat calculations and one variable statistics and push enter.
Here? There?
Menu, statistics, stat calculations, and one variable statistics. And then push OK all the way through. OK. OK. And then this table pops up. And when everyone has this table, then we can talk about it. So take your calculator and hold it high for me so that I know you're ready and you have this table. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you have an issue and you're not ready to move on.
Many issues. I was talking to Mr. Rand. He was like, tell me about what you did for your college. And I told him, and he was like, Topic C, I wrote about how no one could ever beat me in Monopoly or Life or Battleship.
Shut up.
No, yeah, and then I tied it into
Darmic,
how that made me
are you ready to go?
In actuarial science and the study of money.
Thank you. Alejandro, are you ready?
Yeah.
You got it? Great.
Topic
You
B.
ready? Great.
I wrote about I had a switch on. Topic B was like,
Darmic, are you ready?
I don't know. I forgot what it was.
I never used
Yep.
change the topic.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can stop paying attention to your data and just pay attention to this new table right here. So here's the title of column 1 and column 2 within the table. X bar. What does X bar stand for? Mean. There's our mean. 2.4. Wow. This you don't have to worry about right now. If you keep scrolling down, there's a sigma right there. What does sigma stand for?
Median. No. Standard deviation.
Standard deviation. Look, what we just found the hard way, standard deviation was 0.8. Oh my gosh, standard deviation, 0.8. Let's keep scrolling down. N is 5. What did N tell us again? Number of numbers, yes. We have a min X. We're going to talk about the Q1 and the Q2. There's a median. There's your max X. So there's tons of information in here that we're going to use. So now let's practice using that functionality in our calculator. In your notes, there are practice problems on page 3, and I'm so sorry I didn't print front and back, and I'm very mad at myself for not doing that. But on this page, there are 4 practice problems. 8 minutes is plenty of time to do each of those 4 practice problems, okay? You're finding the mean and the standard deviation and the range. The range isn't in the table. What is the range equal to again? Max minus min. Max and min are in the table, and you can use your table to get that data. Okay? So, at least get through A and B here.
School's out.
Ask your questions now about if you're having trouble with these spreadsheets. We're going to work through part D, so please walk us through the steps for how you would do part D.
Okay, so I started with the mean,
Mhm.
and so, yeah. So you add up all the numbers, then you divide it by how many they are. So, the easiest way, on the calculator, you go to the spreadsheet, okay?
Mhm.
Then you type in each number in the row.
Oh, you got this. You got this.
Okay, then you press menu, then you go to statistics, then calculations, then one variable, then you keep pressing OK. Voila!
Ooh.
And then so the symbol for mean is the X with the line on top. So it's 114.444. Then for the standard deviation, you go down and then you see the zero, the circle with the line at the top, which is 10.1227. Then you find the range, and the range is the max minus the min. Yeah. So it's the maximum number would be 135, and then the minimum number would be 100, and you get 35.
You right.
Right. Any questions?
Ooh. No.
Really,
Good job,
mid-range?
number 2.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and write the answers for the other ones so that you can check. For this one, X bar is 60.714. Sigma, or standard deviation, is 13.997. And your range is 45. For part B, your X bar is 44. Sigma is 3.821. And your range is 12. And then for part C, your X bar is 7.2. Your sigma is 3.544. And your range
Is 12.
is 12.